And I remember being in Tibet and I'm meeting with these young monks. I think we were waiting for the bus. And we started talking, and I explained I'm a Catholic priest. And of course, I saw what kind of monk they were and was telling them about some of the places I had visited. And then it was very interesting. They said, "Oh, we're so glad to meet a Catholic priest because we have some questions." All right. And so the first thing was that they said, when Jesus dies on the cross, that seems to us to be like a bodhisattva. All right. In other words, someone who gives his life for others, so that they had figured that much out. They had figured out that Jesus' death on the cross was a death for others, and there are stories of bodhisattvas, who gave of themselves in dramatic ways. So, that connects to a Buddhist story. But then they said, but there's another thing about Jesus that is very perplexing to us. And I said, what's that? He said, well, now Jesus is the great teacher of the West, right? So they're thinking, geographically, right? So Jesus is the great teacher of the West. So was Jesus a materialist? Because the West is so materialistic, right? And so now, know something, right? In Indian philosophy, there are the Charvakas who were strict materialists, did not believe in spirit and so on and so forth. And there's no karma, no consequences to your actions, all of that. So they knew that philosophical tradition. So when they ask, is Jesus a materialist? They are partly referring to that, but they're also referring to something else, communism. They said communism comes from the West, and it is pure materialism. We've learned about this from the Chinese Communist Party because we have to take courses in communist teachings. All right. So it says, is Jesus the source of this materialistic philosophy? All right. And that was a really interesting question, because it means that they're seeing, remember what I said before about the unity of civilization and the unity of the human race. So they're seeing the unity divided up into different great teachers, who have an impact even on a political level. All right. So then I went into an explanation, of course, what is Marxism? What is the Communist Party, and then what is Christianity, in order to make some distinctions. But even that, they really were grateful for that. But even for me, it was really helpful because I would never have even thought of making an explanation like that or having to make an explanation like that. But seeing uh, the way that other people see your heritage, right, and your background and your culture, and trying to sort all that out is so rewarding because in the end, you first of all, you've cleared up a pretty serious level of confusion, but also you've come to understand how people see culture and history and the great movements, that change history. All right. And that kind of experience I've had many times with people in different parts of the world, where you sit down and you really look at things and hear, so that's how you guys see things.